houses, streets, and faces I've known since childhood. I stare out the car window, feeling all the places dear to my heart slowly slipping away. The life I've always known is left behind us. A strange feeling of anxiety and sadness grips my heart, the two emotions intertwining. Ahead of me wait new places, new faces, a new school, and a new home. I don't understand what all this is for, I muttered under my breath, gazing out the car window. I protested this move for so long, but neither my father nor my mother wanted to hear me out. Father has a new job, a decent salary, and they stubbornly insisted that this would be better for our family, but I know for certain it won't be better for me. And who am I to argue with them anyway? Mom had moved in a day earlier to prepare the house for our arrival, and now it was our turn. Father and I spent the whole ride in silence. I didn't want to speak to him, not after everything. Hours passed on the road, and finally the car turned off the main street onto a narrow lane. For the first time, I saw my new home. The house was much bigger than the old one, with a neat lawn and lanterns glowing warmly above the windows, as if inviting me inside. But still, this house felt foreign to me. "Go on in. This is your new home," he said as he opened the door. I stepped inside reluctantly, my legs refusing to cross the threshold of this strange, unwanted place. "My home isn't here," I answered firmly. Mom greeted us at the doorway. From the kitchen came the fragrant smell of pie. My stomach growled loudly, so strongly I could feel the fur on my belly bristle, but I pretended not to notice. "You'll get used to it, and you'll see soon enough you'll be glad we moved here," she said with a smile. "Seriously? Everything is back there. Friends, school, and here there's no one and nothing at all, nothing," I shouted. "Your room is upstairs. You can take whichever you like." "Oh, thanks a lot," I sneered, running up the stairs. I stomped loudly, picking the farthest room just to be as far away from everyone as possible, then slammed the door with all my strength. "I hate it!" I screamed, my voice echoing through almost the entire house. A cold, dimly lit room greeted me. I slid down against the door, tears streaming down my cheeks. I wasn't crying out of fear, but out of sheer unfairness from knowing my opinion never mattered, not at all. I wiped my face, stood up, and switched on the light. There was no point in sulking, we had already moved. By now, new owners were probably settling into our old house. My room was likely already taken by another teenage fox, or maybe not even a fox at all. So I began exploring my new room. It was spacious, larger than the one I used to have. Pale gray walls, dark floors and furniture, a big window overlooking the yard. The room was bright and well lit. It wasn't bad, but still, everything here felt so foreign to my heart. I leaned against the windowsill, staring outside. The yard was bathed in the warm glow of lanterns lining the fence. The sky was scattered with stars, as if they understood my longing for the life I had left behind. "Will I ever find my place here? Find myself," I muttered. It was time to start unpacking. Tomorrow was my first day at the new school. I had begged my parents to let me start next week, but they refused outright. Father explained the sooner you start school, the sooner you'll adjust to this new life. Of course, I didn't believe it. But what did it matter now? I unpacked box after box, placing my belongings in their new spots. I wanted at least a glimpse of home. Every little thing reminded me of my old life. A stuffed toy I was given in elementary school for my birthday, a box of Valentine's cards, a notebook filled with notes and photos from friends. Even ordinary things like the tear in my old shirt pulled me back to the past, a past I couldn't return to. When I unpacked the last box, I looked around. The room now almost looked like someone lived there, but I still didn't feel at home. "New life, new home, yeah right," I muttered. I collapsed onto the bed, staring silently at the ceiling. Suddenly, the door creaked open. Sound of the door opening. I raised my head and saw Mom step inside. I turned away, facing the wall. Oh, it already looks so nice in here. I brought you pie, your favorite meat and cheese, she said gently. I'm not hungry, I mumbled. The truth was just the work food made my stomach twist. I hadn't eaten since before the trip, so it wasn't hard to imagine what the smell of that pie was doing to me. Don't worry, you'll make friends here. Yeah, sure. It'll be better for us here. More space, your dad's earning more, and I'll be able to find work. Why did you decide for me what's better? Why didn't you even ask what I wanted? I burst out, leaping up from the bed. Don't you dare raise your voice at me. I'm your mother. If we decided this, then it's what's best for everyone, she shouted back, storming out and slamming the door behind her. Yeah, for everyone, except me, I yelled after her. I switched off the light, crawled back under the blanket, and pulled it over my head. But the thought of the pie wouldn't let me be. I slid out, reached for the table beside my bed, grabbed a slice, and devoured it so eagerly that not a single crumb was wasted. Phew, that was delicious, I said, chewing the last bite. Now I can finally sleep. I lay down again, turned toward the wall, and pulled the blanket over me. But no matter how long I kept my eyes shut, sleep wouldn't come. My mind kept spinning around tomorrow. I was terrified of what awaited me. New faces, new smells, new stares. Would they accept me? Or would I remain a stranger here forever? These questions gnawed at me. Eye closing. I felt my eyelids grow heavy. My breathing deepened. My heart, restless just a moment ago, slowed its rhythm. The last thought flickered and dissolved like ice beneath the sun, leaving only traces of unease. My body relaxed, and finally I fell asleep. Knocking on the door. Eye opening. I woke up to the annoying sound of knocking. The doorknob creaked as it turned downward. Kid, wake up. You'll be late. Getting up now. If you hurry, I'll drive you to school. Thanks, no need. I'll go on my own. Enough of the sulking. You're acting like a child. Who's the one sulking here? He slammed the door and walked out. I slowly got up from bed, took a shower, packed my things, and started getting dressed. What should I wear? I muttered. First, I thought about a shirt and pants. But what if no one wears that there? I mumbled again. I flipped through the clothes on hangers, unable to decide what would be best. What am I even doing? I sighed, grabbing a gray hoodie. I put on the hoodie, some pants, slipped into my favorite sneakers, and headed out to face the unknown. As I entered the classroom, I immediately caught the eyes of others. I froze in the doorway, unable to speak, feeling as though a stone had lodged itself in my throat. There wasn't a single fox in the classroom. Cats, dogs, wolves, rabbits, and even a teacher, a bear, but no foxes. My fragile hope of finding someone like me crumbled like a house of cards. Good morning, kid, he said in a deep but calm voice. Good morning. Come closer, let's introduce you. I walked up to him hesitantly. Everyone, this is our new student and classmate, Kit. I'm Mr. Brown, your homeroom teacher, and also your PE instructor. Tell us a little about yourself, Kit. I stammered nervously. Go on, Kit, be brave. I swallowed the lump in my throat, shoved my hands into my pockets, and hunched my shoulders. Dozens of eyes stared at me, unblinking. I'm Kit. I moved here with my parents from a small town. I like drawing and doing sports. That's great. We're short on artists around here. The room rustled. Some students glanced at each other. Some smiled faintly. A few winked, while others sat silently, scrutinizing my every move. Excellent, Kit. We're glad to have you with us. Don't worry, you'll adjust quickly. Pick any free seat and settle in. I chose a spot in the corner. Still, their stares followed me like I was under a spotlight. My heart pounded so hard I could barely stay composed. I didn't know how to act. Should I talk to someone first, or wait until someone came to me? I was born a fox, raised among foxes. Back then, I'd always felt at ease with my classmates. But here, not a single fox, as if fate itself was mocking me. Bell rings for recess. And now what? What do I do? I muttered to myself. Everyone stood up and filed out of the classroom, hardly noticing me at all. Nobody came over to say hello. I felt like I was destined to be the loser of this class. I stayed behind, never leaving my seat. Pulling my sketchbook from my bag, I started to draw. Drawing always calms me down. It helps me drift away from problems and ugly thoughts. And right now, I had plenty of both. Pencil in hand, I lost myself in the lines, when suddenly, a classmate walked in a wolf. He headed straight toward me. Hey again, he greeted me with a smile and sat down across from me. Hi, I replied politely. I'm Lupus. I'm Kit. Nice to meet you, I said, extending my paw. Bell rings for the next class. Next is PE. Please change into your gym clothes. The class erupted into movement, everyone rushing to the locker rooms. I stood up slowly and followed. Along the way, I even tried starting a few conversations. The others answered politely, a word or two, but moved on quickly without lingering. In my head, the feeling grew stronger that in this class, I didn't really exist. The locker room was in complete chaos. Some rushed to change and escape the madness. Others swapped stories and laughed loudly. A few quarreled, their voices sharp and angry. I stood aside, trying not to draw attention. I didn't really understand how things worked here, where to put my stuff, where the shoes went, which locker was free. It was all a mystery to me. My nervous trembling was probably visible even from space. Maybe that's why Lupus approached me. Don't worry, I'll show you everything. Thanks. Don't think badly of us. We're not bad classmates or friends. We're just not used to new people. That's why we don't always know how to act. I didn't reply, I just smiled and shrugged. Lupus quickly found me a free locker. I carefully placed my things inside and began to change. Everyone around still acted as if I wasn't there, but Lupus stayed close, pointing things out, showing me how, even joking. His ease and friendliness melted a bit of the cold wall of alienation I felt from the others. Everyone came outside and lined up. Chaos buzzed between the students, voices rising in a restless hum. Mr. Brown blew his whistle, and silence fell instantly. Today we'll be testing for speed and orientation. But not like we usually do, he said, pausing. The class erupted again, whispering and murmuring. Class, quiet, he barked. Well, as always, I'll win, he said with a smirk. That's exactly why I said it won't be like always, he replied, smiling. Victor, how will it be? The hare asked with a trembling voice. In pairs, the stronger will take the weaker. No way, that's nonsense. My lessons and assignments are nonsense to you, he shot back, raising his voice. That's not what I meant, the cheetah muttered, lowering his head. Good, then you'll take the hare into your team. Oh, come on, he groaned, rolling his eyes. Who will take it? class fell silent. No one answered, just silence. Everyone avoided my gaze, pretending to be busy. Someone tied their shoelaces. Someone studied the map. Others quickly paired up. I will! I turned in surprise. He stood a little apart, calm and confident, then slowly walked toward me. Good. Keep with Lupus. Are the other pairs ready? He asked with a nod. The class buzzed again, but not as loudly as before. Some still glanced at us, others exchanged looks, but suddenly I could breathe easier. I wasn't alone. Thank you, I said, looking at Lupus. Don't mention it, just don't fall behind. I hope you can run, he added with a laugh. Oh, I can, I answered. The teacher handed us maps with hidden checkpoints. We had to collect them all, whoever did one. Ready? Sound of a whistle. We dashed into the forest with the other pairs. At first, everyone ran along the same path, but within meters, some turned right, others left, and a noisy crowd scattered among the trees. Sunlight pierced through thick branches, blinding my eyes and forcing me to squint. Dry branches cracked underfoot. We had to be fast, but also careful. Everyone had their own tactics, darting through the forest in search of checkpoints. But so far, no one had found a thing. The teacher had hidden them well. I noticed the cheetah fast and sharp. The hare struggled to keep up, forcing him to wait. They argued constantly, unable to compromise. And at that moment, it hit me. The teacher hadn't paired us by chance. This was a test of teamwork. Lucas, wait, I whispered. No time, what is it? He whispered back. I figured out what we need to win. And what's that? He asked with interest. Look, the first checkpoint has to be by the old oak or some other ancient tree. Yeah. The next one is here, I said, pointing at the map. Let's split up. I'll take the oak. You take the map and run there. I think I know that spot. There's a stream. I'll find the marker here and meet you there. But there's only one map, he said uncertainly. I've got a great memory. I already know where I'm going. Alright, I'll wait for you there. I was more nervous than ever in my life. My heartbeat echoed in my head like a reminder, if we lost, it would be because of me. Lucas had trusted me, accepted my idea without doubt. That meant the responsibility lay entirely on my shoulders. If this tactic failed, we wouldn't just waste time for me, it would be a fatal mistake. I'd become exactly what they already imagined me to be, the weak one, the outsider. And there I was, at the old tree. I circled it, checked every side. Someone had clearly been here before. Maybe the marker was already gone. Still, I searched but found nothing. Then my eyes caught on a root jutting from the ground. What do we have here? I muttered, digging into the soil. Yes, got it! I shouted, then sprinted toward Lupus. It felt as if new strength surged into me. Joy and relief blended with adrenaline, and suddenly I could run faster. I felt like part of a team, and it gave me incredible confidence. On the horizon, I saw Lupus. He waved a marker at me, one he found. I ran up, braced my paws on my knees, and tried to catch my breath. I found one, and you? I found one too, I panted. So, what's next? Open the map. Here, he said, handing me the map. Alright, 2 more left. Do we split again? I think so. That way we have a better chance to win. Then I'll wait at the last checkpoint. Deal. I sprinted without stopping toward the next marker, praying it was still there. But as soon as I reached the abandoned bridge, I realized the cheetah already had it. His mud confidence sparked as always. Oh, Oh, look who showed up. Ha, too late. I was first. I'm always first. He jeered, dashing off. Damn it, I shouted, kicking the ground in frustration. But I had no time for nerves. I had to run to Lupus. Hopefully, he'd get there before the cheetah, and that last marker would be ours unless, of course, someone else had already reached it. I felt everything inside me tighten fear, tension, and at the same time, a rush of excitement. The cheetah's behavior was like a challenge, a spark igniting every nerve. I pushed myself to catch up, like he was still ahead. I could already see Lupus rummaging around near the abandoned fountain. Lupus, anything there? Nothing yet. And nothing will be. I'll find it first. Not a chance. While they tore through everything in their path, racing each other to find the marker, I stopped, drew a deep breath, and scanned the area. My eyes landed on the wild rose bushes by the trail. That was it. The marker was there. I rushed closer. Yes, it was here. Tangled in the thorny branches lay the marker. Lupus, I found it! So, who's better now? Who's winning? He said mockingly, glaring at the cheetah who hissed with anger and sprinted ahead. We bolted forward immediately. The forest turned into a blur of colors and motion. Branches clapped underfoot, grass rustled, and leaves scattered everywhere. We ran like the wind, dodging fallen trunks and tall bushes, every muscle in my body strained, my heart pounding like mad. Finally, we burst onto the clearing, where the teacher was already waiting with his whistle. My lungs burned, my legs ached, but victory gleamed in my eyes. The markers clenched tightly in our hands, 3 out of 4, a clear win. Sound of a whistle. Well, how many markers do you have? 1. We've got 3, he said with a smile, glancing at the cheetah. The tension between them was obvious even to the blind. I didn't know how it was in other situations, but today, that rivalry was clearly on our side. Congratulations to our winners! Lupus, kid, you did great! And especially our newcomer, kid. I'm proud of how quickly you've adapted and shown initiative. The class erupted in noise, some even applauded. Warmth spread through me at the teacher's words, and at last, I could relax after the day's crushing tension. In that moment, I realized I'd taken my first step in this new class, and it was a good one. That's all, you're dismissed. Where do you live? Just nearby, around the corner, I said, pointing toward my home. I'm heading that way too. Come on, I'll walk you. So, what other talents do you have? He asked, laughing. Well, I like to draw. You're a treasure. I could use your help. With what? I paint posters and banners for the play. What play? Oh, Romeo and Juliet. Pure classic. Nothing new or exciting. That's still cool, I said with a smile. So, will you help? Of course. You've no idea what you've gotten yourself into, he laughed. A few minutes later, we reached my house. Want to come in? Nah, another time. My parents are waiting. See you at school. Bye. Lupus waved and left. I stood outside for a moment longer, then headed inside. I stepped across the threshold, trying to shut the door quietly and slip unnoticed to my room. No luck, Mom had hurt me. How was school, kid? Thought it'd be worse. I told you it would be just fine. Oh, Mom, please don't start, I muttered nervously. Hungry? No, I'll eat later, I said, rushing upstairs to my room. I collapsed onto my bed and finally exhaled in peace. The day was over. It had been a long time since I'd felt such a whirlwind of emotions. So much had happened. I nearly became an outcast in class, but somehow it all worked out. For the first time in ages, I felt proud of myself. It was new, unfamiliar, but incredibly pleasant, and I couldn't help but smile. I stretched out, curled up, and sleep crept over me immediately. Too many emotions and events had piled up in just a few days. The fatigue finally caught me. Eyes closing. And with one last deep breath, I sank into sleep. My body melted into the mattress, the world around me fading, leaving only warmth and safety. Loud knock at the door. Eyes opening. And again, the hateful banging on the door. I was sure it was my father waking me up the same way as always. Dad, I'm already up. Stop breaking the door down. Going to school today didn't feel as scary anymore. I got ready quickly again and running out of the house shouted, "I'm off, bye." What about food? You didn't even have dinner last night. "I'll eat at school, I yelled, shutting the door behind me. I walked into the classroom and greeted everyone. Not everyone replied in return though, especially the cheetah. Somehow, I managed to make an enemy on the very first day. Oh well, that happens everywhere. I pulled out the things I needed from my backpack and sat waiting for the teacher to begin the lesson. The classes flew by unnoticed. Some of them even turned out to be interesting, which was very strange for me. I had never been one to love studying. I packed my things into my bag and was about to leave when Lucas came running up with huge rolls of paper and boxes of pencils. "Well, ready to help?" "Always ready," I said with a smile. "Let's head to the auditorium. There's a rehearsal going on right now. You'll get to see how everything works." "Are we even allowed to?" I asked in surprise. "We're the artists. Without us, there's no play. We're allowed to do anything." He laughed. "At least let me help with something," I said, taking the rolls out of his hands. We entered a spacious, enormous hall where the smell of old decorations mixed with the faint dampness in the air. Sunlight streamed through the tall windows, illuminating the stage with its half-finished props. On stage, a few students arranged set pieces. Someone was rehearsing a song. Others carefully studied their scripts. "Well, what do you think?" "This is really cool." "Yeah, what did you expect? This is serious business," he chuckled. It was fascinating to watch what might emerge from this chaos. "Alright, we need to find a spot where no one will bother us. Maybe that corner over there, closer to the stage?" "Oh, perfect! Let's go!" I carried the rolls closer to the stage. A desk stood to the side, clearly unused. I decided we needed it and dragged it over. When I turned my head, I was left speechless. Lucas was dragging a huge banner attached to a wooden frame. "And what's that supposed to be?" I asked. "This is what we'll be working on for the next few days." "I hauled a desk for us, and you're bringing something on this scale?" "We'll need the desk too. Don't worry." "Alright then, tell me what needs to be done." "Come closer. I've already tried sketching the outlines of the letters and borders, but it all looks raw and unfinished." "Not bad. Here will be the main title, and here the decorations," he explained, running his finger across the canvas. "Got it. I like it." I picked up a brush, dipped it in paint, and began filling in the large areas with even strokes. At first it felt awkward. The canvas was so big. Every movement seemed too slow, but gradually my hand adjusted to the scale. Meanwhile, Lucas moved around, adding contrasting colors and small details. He kept joking and giving tips. We laughed, and the process felt light and fun. "See, we make a great team." Suddenly, I heard a sound from the stage. The rehearsal of the main actors had begun, and then she appeared. this wasn't just Juliet, this was the most beautiful Juliet I had ever seen. "Oh, sit down, let's watch." "Who's that?" I whispered. "That's Chloe from the parallel class." "What, you like her?" "She's really beautiful." Couldn't take my eyes off her. She acted so easily, so naturally. Every movement was graceful and her voice clear and confident. I watched her without blinking, captivated by the way she transformed a simple line into a real feeling. She lived her role. "Ha, get in line. Pretty much everyone likes her," he said, glancing at me. "Everyone? Come on, I'll introduce you." "Now? No way!" "Come on, don't be scared." Reluctantly, I got up and followed Lucas. To me, it seemed like a terrible idea. My heart raced faster and faster, completely out of my control. Lucas' plan felt like pure madness. "Lucas, maybe later. Let's just go back to painting." "Don't whine." Chloe noticed us, or rather, Lucas, and smiled a little, her eyes shining like morning sunlight. I struggled to think of what to say, but the words refused to form a single sentence. Lucas winked at me, as if to say everything would be fine. "Hey Chloe, you were amazing, as always," he said right away as soon as we approached. Thank you, she replied, bowing her head slightly. "Me kid, he's new at our school, but trust me, very promising." Lucas stopped and muttered awkwardly. "Nice to meet you, Chloe." "Nice to meet you too, promising kid." She said just a few words to me and walked away. Our conversation, if you could call it that, hadn't gone well, and Lucas with his dumb jokes hadn't helped. "Promising kid? Really, Lucas?" I said, shoving him in the shoulder. "Of course, now she'll definitely remember you," he laughed. "Come on, the campus is waiting." Screen fade out. I went into my room, sat down at my desk, and pulled out my sketchbook. I had a strong urge to draw her. Every stroke of my hand was careful, as if I was afraid of ruining what already lived in my memory. On the paper, the contour slowly emerged, the flowing lines of her hair, the soft outline of her face, the sparkle in her eyes I had seen during rehearsal. Each line was a way to hold on to her, to fix her image forever on the page. I leaned back in my chair and admired how the portrait came to life. It was like magic, simple lines transforming into a likeness that felt almost alive. My fingers were smudged with graphite, but I was pleased with the result. Deep inside, a plan began to form. I'll give her this portrait. Maybe this will be the first step to us getting properly acquainted, I murmured under my breath. I can't think about anything else, only about how to bring my plan to life. I lay down on the bed and felt my body instantly relax after everything that had happened to me during the day. These days are far too intense for me. I'm used to a measured, calm pace of life, and here it's constant emotional swings. Eye closing. My eyes grew heavy, my eyelids closed on their own. Finally, the day was over, time to rest. Eye opening. I couldn't get out of bed for a long time. I stayed until the very last moment, until I was on the verge of being critically late. I ran out of the room, but as soon as I reached the stairs, I remembered I had forgotten the drawing. Damn it, forgot, I muttered, turning back to my room. The bell had already rung long ago, and only now was I reaching the school. I could feel it. I was about to get scolded. At least, that's how it would have been in my old school if I had been late. I rushed up to the classroom and, still out of breath, spoke to Mr. Brown. Sorry, I'm late. Overslept. It's all right, kid. It happens. Thank you. May I take my seat? Wait. Did something happen? You're helping Lupus with the banner, right? Yes, that's me. Why? He's waiting for you in the auditorium. The two of you are excused from classes today. I closed the classroom door and headed toward the auditorium. The hallway seemed far too quiet. I had never been here when it was so silent, not a single living soul around. It felt as if even the walls were listening to my footsteps. And now, here I was standing before the huge doors covered in leather padding, the very doors that led to the auditorium. I took a deep breath, then exhaled sharply. I grabbed the handle and pushed it forward. The doors creaked open. Before me stood a grand hall. The moment I crossed the threshold, everyone instantly stopped what they were doing and turned their eyes to me. From all that attention, I immediately felt awkward. "Hi, everyone," I said shyly. From different corners of the room came an uncertain "hi." I scanned the hall with my eyes, but Lupus was nowhere to be seen. The only one I noticed right away was Chloe. She was sitting on the steps of the stage, right next to our table. I walked slowly toward her. "Hi, Chloe." "Hello, promising kid," she said with a laugh. "I'm going to kill Lupus, seriously. I laughed along." "No, you can't kill him. Not until after he finishes the banner." "I'll finish it," I laughed. "Well, fine. Then you can kill him. Look, here he comes," she said, pointing at Lupus, who had just arrived. "Everyone's here? Good. We were just talking about you." "Gossiping about how handsome I am," he said, running a hand through his hair. "Not at all. Kid's actually planning to kill you." "Well, not right this second. Maybe after rehearsal." "A last request then. Make it after the premiere. Otherwise all these days here will have been for nothing." He glanced sideways at me and smiled. "Who am I to deny a man's final wish?" I laughed. We all burst out laughing together. Lupus pulled out some buns and cocoa sticks from a bag. "See? You're plotting my murder, and here I am bringing you food." "As long as it's not poison." "Why don't you bring the kettle instead? It's behind the stage." "Sure, one moment," I said, and ran backstage. Behind the stage was half darkness. There were piles of different props, chairs stacked one on top of another, and so much dust that my throat caught after just one breath. I scanned the mess for a long while, searching for the kettle, but what I found instead was a boy sitting in the corner on the floor, intently reading a script and sipping tea. "Hey, do you know where the kettle is?" He slowly lifted his head, his eyes sliding over me, but within a moment dropped back to the lines of the script, not a single word in response. I felt a little awkward at his attitude, but then I noticed the shelf to his right. The kettle was there. I picked it up. It was still warm. When I came out from behind the heavy curtain, the first thing I felt was the difference in atmosphere. Back there it was silence and heaviness, and that strange board. Out here it was motion, jokes, and the light chaos of rehearsal. I walked up to the table where Chloe and Lupus were sitting, placed the kettle beside them, plugged it in, and pressed the button. "Took you long enough." "Yeah, try finding anything back there." "On that, I agree with you." And there was some strange guy sitting in the corner drinking tea. "Strange how?" I asked him, "Have you seen the kettle?" He looked at me, didn't say a word, and just went back to reading his script. "If that's not strange, what is?" I shrugged. "What did he look like? Describe him," he asked, curious. "A cat, just a cat, nothing special." "Oh, that's Simon." "Simon? Who's that?" He didn't get to finish before Chloe interrupted him. "The kettle's boiled. Let's drink cocoa and get to work." Yeah, absolutely. We need to get working. The kettle started to bubble softly, and Chloe immediately took it off the stand, carefully pouring hot water into the mugs where she had already added cocoa. The air was filled with the sweet scent of cocoa and freshly baked buns. We ate the buns and laughed, sharing funny stories. Our conversation was so genuine that it felt as if I had known them my entire life. When you see my stunning Juliet dress, you'll just fall, she said confidently. You know, Chloe, at this rate with all the buns, I suspect you won't even fit into your gorgeous dress. Lupus, I'll kill you, she laughed, turning on Lupus. Step in line, he pointed at me with his finger. What about me? Should I go first or help out? I looked at Chloe and smiled. Ah, a conspiracy against me is brewing here. Did you think otherwise? She said, taking the last sip of her cocoa. Yeah, I finished my drink. Going to change my t-shirt so I don't get paint on it. Because my mom will want to kill me too. Lupus got up from the table and headed backstage. Chloe also started to get up, but I decided to seize the moment we were alone. And gathering some courage, I stopped her. My heart beat a little faster, not from cocoa but from what I was about to do. Chloe, wait. What's up? She turned her head toward me. I have something for you. Chloe sat back in her chair, looking at me with surprise. I took out my sketchbook from my bag, opened it to a portrait of Chloe, and tore out the page. This is for you, I said awkwardly, handing her the sheet. Oh, wow, unexpected. Thank you, she smiled. You're welcome, I said, smiling. You draw really well. Thanks. I stood up from the chair, rubbed my hands on my sweater, and shoved them into my pockets. I wasn't entirely sure what to do next in situations like this. I looked away, but inside, I felt something warm spreading through my chest, like cocoa. It was a pleasant feeling. I was glad she accepted my gift. A voice came from the stage. Chloe, it's your cue. She ran onto the stage and took her place. Her smile lingered in my memory long after, even as she focused seriously on the text and prepared for her performance. I grabbed my brushes and started to paint. It was a beautiful start to the work process, the emotions making it feel like the muse herself had kissed me. Ideas flowed naturally, and I quickly brought them to the canvas. Kid, what's happening to you? Not long ago, you didn't know where to start, and now... It's just happening on its own, I shrugged. No, not on its own. This is love, my friend, love. Stop talking nonsense! Time passed unnoticed. Most of the work with Lupus was done. Just a little more and our banner would be complete. Lupus and I had already started packing up our things. I wiped my brushes. He packed the paints. Work was bustling. Suddenly, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Chloe running toward us. My heart started racing, and my hands trembled. I pretended not to notice her approaching. Guys, here's what I thought, she said, running up to us. What? Want some help? I handed her a pack of pencils. No, you handle it yourselves. She pushed the pack away and smiled. Ah, a true friend. I'll draw a mustache on half your face on the banner. Or a full beard black, then you'll know, he laughed. Tell me, Chloe, what did you want? I said, interrupting Lupus' jokes. My birthday is in 3 days. Cool! Yeah, and I want to invite you all. Well, I think we'll come, he said, glancing at me. I think I'll come too, I nodded in reply. That would be awesome, thank you. And Kate, I wanted to ask you to help with the invitations. I've got something in mind. Great, I'll get it ready quickly and we'll discuss everything. Chloe, gather the pencils. It's your destiny. He laughed again and handed her the same empty pencil pack Lupus had tried to trick her with twice. Chloe took the pack Lupus had already tried to sell her and rolled her eyes theatrically. You're such a child, Lupus, she added, annoyed. I couldn't help it and laughed out loud, though my heart was still racing like crazy from Chloe being near me. We quickly packed all our supplies, the table was clean, and it felt like breathing had become easier. Alright, I'm off. Dad and I are going evening fishing today. I hope you'll be here tomorrow. Of course. Then goodbye, have a good fishing trip. And once again, it was just Chloe and me. To calm my racing heart, I decided to suggest going to the park nearby our school. I had never been there, so it would be interesting to take a walk, especially with Chloe. Maybe we could go to the park. You can give me a tour and tell me about your invitations. With great pleasure. I'm tired of this hall already. Get ready, I'll meet you outside at the entrance. I stood at the school entrance, waiting for Chloe to come out. The anxiety inside me had eased a bit. The fresh air helped a lot. Finally, Chloe came out. I'm here, sorry for taking so long. Shall we go? Yes, let's. What a beautiful day, she inhaled deeply. Can't argue with that. We walked along a narrow path leading to the park. Chloe was a little ahead, strolling slowly, observing the trees and listening to the birds' songs. Her movements seemed light and effortless, as if she truly felt in harmony with everything around her. I trailed behind, savoring every movement. Even the way she adjusted her hair drove me crazy. And soon we entered the park. On both sides of the wide path were neatly trimmed bushes with multicolored roses. Their fragrance floated in the air, mingling with the subtle scent of freshly cut grass. Sunlight filtered through the branches of maples and oaks, casting warm rays directly onto the roses. Nearby, the sound of a waterfall could be heard. It's so beautiful here, I said, looking around. I love this park. Not surprising, it's the kind of place where your soul relaxes. I always say that too. Chloe grabbed my hand and pulled me along the path winding through the maple trees. I'll show you my favorite spot in this park, she said, tugging me along by the hand. Alright, surprise me. The path led us to a small clearing where a few wooden tables with benches were set up. A little further behind the tables, a small lake stretched out, with a waterfall cascading into it. The water gurgled quietly, breaking into sparkling droplets that glittered in the sunlight like tiny jewels. The sound added a sense of harmony, as if nature itself was composing music to accompany our walk. Wow, this place is truly incredible! I love this part of the park the most. Let's sit here. Sure. You pick the table, I'll get us some ice cream. Ice cream, great. I love ice cream, she said. I approached a bright ice cream truck with a friendly vendor and without hesitation chose blueberry ice cream for us. For some reason, I just wanted that flavor, even though there were plenty to choose from. Chloe was already waiting at a table right by the waterfall. You picked the perfect spot. Whenever it's free, I only choose this table. So tell me, what kind of invitations do you want? I really liked your postcard. I'd like the same ones, but with my face on them, and with the text, "You're invited to my birthday." That's totally doable. So, will you help me? Of course, I'll help. Great! What do I need to buy? Nothing. I have everything. Consider this your birthday gift to me. Oh, what else will you come up with? We sat and talked about everything under the sun. By the way, how did you meet Lupus? Oh, I've known him since childhood. Our parents are friends, and so are we. Wow, I would have never guessed. How do you like our town? At first, I was really upset we moved here, but now I'm even a little glad, I said quietly. Yes, it's really nice here. Can't even argue with that, I smiled. And you're lucky with friends too, she added, laughing. We talked for a long time about everything: school, funny incidents, dreams we'd been afraid to voice before. Time passed unnoticed. Our conversation felt so effortless, as if we'd known each other forever, and our laughter rang out so sincerely that it felt like nothing else existed around us. Gradually, the light over the lake dimmed. The sun leaned toward the horizon, painting the sky in crimson shades. I looked up and smiled. I didn't want this evening to end. It's getting late, maybe we should head back. It will be dark soon, I asked quietly. Yeah, it's getting late. Let's go. I walked Chloe home and then quickly returned to my own house. I quietly opened the door and slipped into my room. Luckily, my parents were watching a movie and didn't notice I was back. I returned to my room. It greeted me with its usual silence. I tossed my backpack by the door and collapsed on the bed without even turning on the light. Chloe appeared in my mind again and again, her laughter, her light jokes, how the wind played with her hair in the park, how she looked at me as if we had known each other forever. Every time I remembered her smile, something new and inexplicable stirred in my chest. I had never felt anything like this before. Maybe I'm falling in love, I muttered under my breath. I immediately remembered the birthday invitations. Maybe I could surprise her, I whispered. An idea formed in my mind. I would draw the invitations tonight. She definitely wouldn't expect to get them tomorrow. I got out of bed, went to my desk, and turned on the lamp. I took my sketchbook from the drawer and began to draw, recalling every feature of her face, every strand of her hair, her eyes, every detail mattered. A wave of inspiration washed over me. Every drawing came effortlessly. Finally, all the invitations were done. They turned out even better than I had imagined. I turned off the desk lamp and returned to bed. Eye closing. My eyes closed on their own, and I immediately drifted into sleep. Eye opening. Every morning starts the same. My father bursts into my room, startling me awake. I quickly wash up, get dressed, and run to school. The morning air is cool. I haven't been in this town very long, yet it feels like home. I run along the familiar road to school. My thoughts aren't about math or literature, but only about one thing: how to surprise Chloe with the finished invitations today. At that thought, a pleasant flutter rises in my chest again. Sound of school bell. Lessons dragged on as usual, every minute feeling like an eternity, especially when my mind wasn't on class at all, but somewhere else, in the auditorium watching Chloe perform. Finally, the lessons ended. I could head to the auditorium without rush. Lupus walked ahead of me while I lagged behind, preparing myself to give Chloe her invitations. As I opened the doors, a strange tightness gripped my chest, and unexplainable anxiety settled within me. My eyes immediately searched for Chloe, ignoring everything else around me. She was all I could think of. Kate, you're like from another reality. He nudged my shoulder. What? I asked, confused. I've asked you twice now. What are you staring at? Nothing. Why would you think that? Don't lie to me! Ah, you're thinking about Chloe. Looking for her? He laughed. Why are you shouting? I whispered. Someone's Lucas in love, huh? He said with gentle sarcasm. I rolled my eyes and walked to our table. Sometimes Lucas' jokes drove me crazy, and I really wanted to strangle him. Chloe rehearsed her lines on stage while Lucas and I started painting the banner. Time was short. We needed to finish quickly. Have you decided what you're giving Chloe? I'm clueless. I have no idea what to give her. And you? I asked my mom to get me flowers and a nice blanket. I'll probably order something online. There are still 2 days left. As we spoke, Chloe came down from the stage. So guys, how's it going? The banner is almost done. Just need to paint you and your huge beard. He laughed. Kate, how do you work with him? I don't get it. Look what I have, I said, taking the invitations out of my backpack. Oh. Here, I handed her the cards. No way! You drew these so quickly? She asked, astonished. Let me see. He reached for them. Wow, amazing job! Chloe looked at each card, her face lighting up with pure joy, the kind of happiness that made all my effort worthwhile. Suddenly, unable to contain her emotions, she jumped closer and kissed me on the cheek. I flinched at the unexpected gesture. It felt like electricity had shot through me. The world around blurred, leaving only the warmth of that surprise kiss. Chloe looked embarrassed, just like me. She quickly turned and ran back onto the stage. Oh, you should have seen Simon's face. He laughed. Who's Simon? I muttered nervously. Oh, Chloe's ex. Anger twisted through me. Instead of joy, a knot of fury grew in my chest. I turned my head and Simon was walking straight toward us. Just what we needed, he sighed. Whatever, I muttered and picked up the brushes. As I turned back to the banner, Simon brushed past me so hard my brushes scattered in all directions. Watch your feet, artist, he said, looking back at me. Don't mind him. Be smarter. He patted my shoulder. Screen fades out. 2 days later, Chloe's birthday. I woke up even before my father began banging on my door. Sleep seemed to retreat on its own. I guess today was special. Chloe's birthday. I stood in front of my wardrobe, unsure what to wear. Shirt with a collar or just a t-shirt? Dark jeans were light, or maybe even trousers? Every choice seemed either too casual or too formal. The agony of choice, I muttered. Time passed. I realized I had no more time to think. White t-shirt and jeans, I decided confidently. At the table, I checked the gift for Chloe one last time. After searching, I found the perfect present, a musical box for all sorts of little girl trinkets. I didn't hesitate and ordered it.